In this video, I'll show you how you can create the best-selling books on Amazon at KDP and how you can create them using AI. Just take a look at this book here that's making between $289 to $988 a day. We've got another example here with this book that's making between $223 to $330 a day. So many people have a dream to create a children's book that makes money, but they just end up going into the wrong niches. So I'm going to walk you through 5 specific niches that are making money and how you can create them using Neolemon. So make sure you watch this full video to the end. So the first idea we're going to be talking about is social emotional learning books. Now, if you spend any time looking at what's trending in children's books right now, you'll see this theme coming up everywhere. Social, emotional learning books are basically picture books that help kids understand and manage their feelings. So you can think about maybe dealing with anger, building confidence, learning patience, understanding boundaries, and so on. As teachers will always be recommending these books, schools buying them, parents will be actively searching for these to help their kids deal with these kind of emotions. And what's so powerful about this niche is that you don't really need to be a child psychologist to write one. You just need a relatable character, a clear emotion or lesson, and a really simple story. Character faces a problem, learns a coping skill, and then feels better. That's your formula. So we'll take a look at this book, which is a best-selling book at the moment. So the title of the book is Kindness is My Superpower, and it's just a children's book about empathy, kindness, and compassion. These are qualities that any parent would want their child to have. And you can see it's the current bestseller, and it's described as the best social emotional learning book for raising kind children. We see the cover here, really simple cover with the main character, and then the title is quite prominent: Kindness is My Superpower. And if we scroll down, this particular book is making between $223 to $333 per day. It's been on Amazon for over 5 years, and it's got a bestsellers rank of 2062. So basically, for those who don't understand what a BSR is, the lower this number is, the better. And it just gives you an idea of how a particular book is ranking. So the lower this number is, the better and the more money it's making. So we really want to see books that do have a very low BSR and create similar books around these types of topics. And just taking a look at the inside of the book, we just click read sample and then scroll down to the first page where we meet Lucas, an ordinary boy who's holding a teddy, his favorite toy. So it's rhyming. And then we know a little bit about what he likes to eat and that he makes some mistakes. And then we see another character who's looking down, quite sad. And from my guessing, this story is built up on a lot of people are making fun of a particular person. And then maybe Lucas is the one that comes across and is quite kind and caring and supportive of that person. So this is something that every child needs to know. It's encouraging to help them to be kind towards others. And it's a super popular book idea. So we can create this in Neolemon. So to do this, log into Neolemon and then go over to Character Turbo to generate your character. Once you're in here, the first thing you can do is name your character. Then make sure you're on Turbo V2, as this is going to allow you to generate the best images. Then you just want to describe your character. There's a few things that help with this. So you've got Inspire Me that will just actually come up with and generate your character description for you. Then you've got Speech, so you can just use your voice to describe your character. You've got Translate, as it will translate your description to or from another language. And then you've got AI Improve that will just enhance your description. So I've just simply got a boy smiling with brown hair, a blue top, white shorts and sandals. And then we've got the action and expression. So this is up to you, but I usually like to have a full body front view standing, so we see the full character, which just allows us to do a lot of changes afterwards. Then the background I wanted was a beach. Then we've got an aspect ratio, which is 1:1. So it's that square 8.5 by 8.5 Amazon KDP book. And then there's several different styles you can choose from. My favorite is Pixar inspired, so I've gone with that. And then this is the image that's been generated. Now, this tool is absolutely fantastic when it comes to changing expressions. All you really need to do is just go over to edit expression. And then we've got so many different options here that will allow us to change the character's face. So if we go above just here, I've asked for an angry face. So you can see the character's expression completely change from the first image. the background is always consistent. The character is always consistent every single time. No other tool can do this. So it's absolutely amazing for these types of books. Then after this, we've got the character actually crying now. So the expression has changed again. And then we've got an excited face. So this is the perfect type of tool that you can use if you want to maybe create a book around a certain emotion, as we can do so many different expressions within this tool and the character will always stay consistent. Then once we have all our characters, just make sure you download them. Then we can go back to the home page and then go over to Canvas to start designing our story scenes. And this is one that I've already done. So we've got Max here in the center. All you need to do is just upload the image. It's really simple to do. And then you can adjust it to however you want to on the page. I've also added the blob here in the corner, which has allowed me to then add my text. And I've just written the heat made Max angry, which we can really see in the image. So then that's how we can start actually building out our story. Now, the second idea we'll take a look at is bedtime and mindfulness stories. And this has been a strong niche for many years, as parents are desperate for these books because screens are everywhere and bedtime routines are always a battle. And anything that actually helps a child wind down is actually worth its weight in gold. And the search volume for these types of books is absolutely amazing. So we can see here, Good Night Little Blue Truck. So it's a heartwarming bedtime story about trucks, farm animals, friendship for kids ages 4 to 8. So it's very specific. It's a bestseller, which is absolutely amazing. And we find out in the description, a storm is brewing, a little blue truck and his good friend Toad are hurrying home for bed, but who can sleep with all the noise? So it's a book that's going to help children fall asleep. And if we scroll down, we can see the book is estimated to make $372 to $594 a day. Amazing BSR. So it's really doing well. And if we look inside of the book, then we can see and get an idea of the little blue truck and the kind of adventure that it's on and the windy road and all the things that is going on, which will really be interesting for kids. And we can find out all the challenges that the little blue truck goes through and how it's able to overcome. So it'll be a nice story for kids to go to at bed. And we can create this again in Neolemon. So for us to create our character, I've gone back to character Turbo. I've described my character as a golden retriever and puppy cuddling in the garden while the moon is out. Then I've got the action and the expression of a full body front view sitting. Then it's at nighttime, as we really want to create that bedtime story theme. Then we've got the aspect ratio, which is 1 to 1. This time I've gone with the watercolor illustration, which I think will work really well for a bedtime story. But we see the golden retriever, we see the puppy cuddling next to each other, and then we've got the garden in the background with the moon out. Now, another great feature of this tool is that you are able to change the background and mix it up. And all you have to do is just click on edit background, and then you can put whatever you want in. So let's say we want the background to be a forest instead, then you can change that. And that's what I've done above. And then we can see the forest scene here in the background, which still is in line with our nighttime theme. So you can just create so many different backgrounds that is always going to be in line with the theme of your story, and the characters will always stay consistent. So this is going to work really well for our bedtime stories. And then once you've done this, you can go into Canvas and add your text, which will help you to narrate this story even more. So the third niche is diversity and representation books. Now, this is one of the most underserved niches in children's publishing. As parents and educators, they are looking for books where kids can see themselves, stories that are actually featuring characters from different ethnicities, family structures, abilities, and cultural backgrounds. And there's not really enough of them. So you can actually be the one to respond to what communities are actually asking for. And these stories, they really matter and they also really sell, which is a powerful combination. We'll take a look at a few that are selling well on Amazon. This book titled Our Diversity Makes Us Stronger, which is a social emotional book for kids about diversity and kindness. We can see it's actually a teacher's pick book, which Amazon actually reaches out to teachers and they specifically choose some books that are recommended for children. And this is actually one of them. So it's doing really, really well. And it will teach children to accept and celebrate diversity, to be kind to those who are different, to love themselves the way they are, and to boost self confidence as well, which is perfect for kids of all different races. And you can see that it's selling well every day on Amazon. And if we take a look at the inside of the book, we can see multiple different characters being represented in here and different cultures. So kids can grow in that understanding of different things and breaking the norms in society. And we can create these types of books again using Neolemon. So what I've done here is I've gone into character turbo again, and I've just described my character. I've got an African American girl with brown eyes wearing a yellow t-shirt, blue shorts and white trainers, which we have here. And then I've got the full body view standing and smiling. I've got the plain white background as I might want to change the actions that the character's doing later or the background. Then I've got it in square one by one. And then I've also got the Pixar inspired style, and it's done everything that I've wanted here. Next, I've got a Japanese boy with straight black hair in a neat bowl cut. I've got dark brown eyes wearing a bright green vest with pockets, khaki shorts, and brown boots, which it's been able to do perfectly here. Then finally, I've got an Indian boy, short wavy black hair, large brown eyes, wearing a blue shirt and white trousers and black shoes, which is perfectly represented here. So in this tool, you're able to create whatever type of character you need, whatever type of ethnic background, which is amazing. And then we can start creating background scenes for our story. So here I've got a forest with a path through it. So this is going to be our background, which we're going to start on and find all the characters. Then you can go over to Story Scene Pro and just click on that. And this is how we can actually put two and this is how we can put a story scene with 2 or 3 characters together with a background that we've created. So Story Scene Pro is absolutely awesome if you want to configure a certain scene where you have 2, 3 characters and even a background. So I've uploaded all 3 characters just here. You can title them whatever you want to, and I've got the background. Then in the scene description, if you want the image you generate to be really specific, you can at each particular character and then just mention what you want. So I've got character 1 is walking in front of character 2, whilst character 3 is behind them. And then we've got them all in the picture here, which is at the background. And I've got the aspect ratio, which I've kept 1:1. And then here is the image generated. So we can see our character 1 is walking in front. Then we've got our character. So here we can see our character 1 is walking in front of character 2, whilst character 3 is a little bit further behind them. And we've all got them in a background image, which is absolutely perfect. All characters are wearing the exact same clothes. Actually, the first character is doing the walking motion. The second character is perfectly doing the walking motion too. And the third character is just standing. So I wasn't too specific on what I wanted from their particular motion, but it's been able to put the picture together, which shows how fantastic this tool actually is. And this is how you'll be able to generate different scenes of your ethnic characters and then create your book on diversity and representation. And then once you're happy with all your images, all you need to do is just download them, and then you can put them into Canvas and start adding your words or speech bubble. And this is how you'll start building your stories of diversity and representation. So the fourth niche is about first experience. So just think about all of the scary big firsts that a child actually goes through. And for example, a first day at school, a first trip to the dentist, maybe getting a new sibling or moving to a new house. Now, parents would buy these types of books just to prepare their children for specific situations. And when a parent searches on Amazon for a book about maybe getting a new sibling, they're not browsing, they are actually looking to buy. And there are hundreds of first experience books on Amazon, but a lot of them have such little competition. Think about some sort of unique idea. You can do a children's book about maybe first haircuts or visiting grandma in the hospital. And these books are really simple to write. So just think about the child being nervous in the first place, and then going through the thing with a comfortable guide, such as a parent, a pet, or some sort of magical friend, and then the child realizing that it's not so scary, and then in the end, the child actually feels proud. So I'll show you an example and then how you can do this on Neolemon. So this is our book here called First Day Jitters, and this is a best-selling kids picture book. Again, it's another teacher's pick, and it's just about calming first day school anxieties. If we scroll down, we can see it's got a very low BS, and it's making $32 to $46 a day. And if you just take a look on the inside of the book, we can see one of the pages here with a parent maybe telling his child to get out of bed and that they don't want to miss the first day at the new school. And then we experience a child and all the worries that it might be going through. And then the parent will assumedly encourage the child to go to school and mention a few things to look forward to. Then it'll detail the child's experience at the school and have some sort of positive outcome at the end. And again, you can create something like this in Neolemon. So the fifth and final example that I want to talk about is holiday and seasonal children's books. Now, these are some of the most giftable books on Amazon as parents, grandparents, aunties, teachers, friends, everybody buys holiday books as a gift, and they can cross sell into every other type of niche. For example, an Easter book can also be a first experiences book as well. And with these types of books, parents aren't just browsing, they are looking to buy and give their child more knowledge about a particular season or holiday event. So you might want to create something around maybe Christmas, Eid, Diwali, the Lunar New Year. There's so many ideas that you can do. And let's take a look at a book that is best selling on Amazon. So in the character Turbo, I've got an Asian girl with curly brown hair, a white polo shirt, black trousers and black shoes sitting in an empty classroom, which is perfectly displayed here. Now you can do so many things with this scene. Let's say you wanted to change the action of the character. You wanted the character to have their thumbs up with the right hand and a cheerful expression. Maybe they might be excited on their first day. So you just select that and then click generate. And I've already got that here. So now we've got our character looking a lot more cheerful. They've got their thumbs up. They are excited on their first day. And then maybe you might want to change the scene again. And then what we can do is maybe put the character into a different background. So all we need to do is just click edit the background. Then maybe you can change it to a cafeteria or the playground and then click generate. And that's what I've done here. So we've got them sitting in the playground with their thumbs up. So they're still very cheerful, having a really exciting day all over. And then maybe you might want to still have the same character, but represent them on another day where they're maybe wearing something else. So you can actually change the outfit. And all you need to do is just click edit outfit. So for example, maybe you might want them in a red polo. So I've done that and I've changed the character to having a red polo. So there's so many things you can do inside of this to really display your character's first day. You can change the background, the outfit, the expression, the action, and create a really interesting book that kids will love for their first day at school. So here we have a book titled Why a Daughter Needs a Dad. And this is just to celebrate your father-daughter bond with this special picture book. And we know that Father's Day is coming up. It's currently a bestseller and it's making between $334 to $790 a day with an insane BSR of just 24. So if we take a look inside of the book, you're only able to see one page, but just going off assumption, it would just show all the importance of why a daughter needs a dad and just taking you through various different experiences. And what's perfect is we have Neolemon to create this type of book. So I've gone into character turbo again, and I've decided to go with a baby panda and a big panda just in the snow. So this could be themed for maybe Christmas and maybe a father-daughter or father-son bond kind of book. I've kept the aspect ratio the same, and then I've gone with a 2D flat illustration style. Then if you want to change what they're doing, you just go to the editor pro and then you can type in whatever you want. So I've changed it to them both now playing with a snowman. And then I've also got them throwing snowballs at each other. And the characters stay consistent all the time. You can see they're doing different actions. and just different things that really show the bond that they're building and they're having fun in the snow at Christmas time. So this would be a great thing to teach kids the different things they can do at Christmas time and also how they can build bond with their parents also. Now I've given you multiple different ideas that you can create for your children's book. So I want to hear from you in the comments which one is your favorite idea and what you'll be creating in Neolemon. There is a free trial and offer where you can create 5 images. So make sure you try it out. Also, make sure you check out the description for a step-by-step guide walkthrough on any of these niches so that you can create the best children's book possible.